So we'll start the session then. Okay, thank you all for coming. And this is the second session of our mixing and mastering quote unquote master class. Okay, so I think I can switch on my video for now, right? Yeah, okay, I'll do that. Yeah, okay, good, nice. Yeah, so if you can switch on your video, you are most welcome to do so. I would like to see you guys. If not, totally cool. Okay, then. So in this session, what we are going to do is we are going to look at a few things. First is going to be an EQ, a compressor, and what do we mean by gain staging, and a few very important things to get a good mix, right? uh, like what is a bus, what are synths, and we'll be understanding all of this through uh, a live mix. Okay, so I'll be mixing 120 dB's song. It's called Isaiyenul, and this was actually composed by our seniors. Actually, yeah, one of them is right here, Ashwin Anna. Okay, Ashwin bro, hi. Ashwin bro, can you hear me? Hi. Okay, fine. I guess. Okay, so you guys can hear me, right? Arya, Sahana, someone.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Nice. Okay, so I'll just do a very quick playthrough of the song. Uh, so yeah. Okay, so this is actually my session where I mix the entire song. Okay, then we'll take a quick listen.
தகதிமித்தா இசையோடு
சமகமப்பா விளையாடு
தகதிமித்தா இய கையில் இசையருவியில் இணைந்திடுமே இசையினுள்ளே கலந்தால் இதயம் முருகிடுமே இசையினுள்ளே
கலந்தால்
இதயம் முருகிடுமே
காலையில் பொழுதில் பசுமை நிறைந்திடும் மார்கழி பனியும் நீயே
தாமரை இதழ்கள் மலர தூண்டிடும் கோடையில் இதமும் நீயே
காலையில் பொழுதில் பசுமை நிறைந்திடும் மார்கழி பனியும் நீயே
தாமரை இதழ்கள் மலர தூண்டிடும் கோடையில் இதமும் நீயே ராகபாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஆடிட கபபனி சனி பம கபபனி ராகபாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஆடிட சனி சனி பனி பனி பம இசையினுள்ளே
கலந்தால்
இதயம் முருகிடுமே இசையினுள்ளே
கலந்தால்
இதயம் முருகிடுமே pada ma pada sa ma pa ni da ma ga ma ni ni pa sa sa ri ri ga ma pa pada ma pa ni da ma ga ma ni sa sa ri ri ma pa ni ma pada ma pada sa ma pa ni da ma ga ma ni pa sa sa ri ri ga ma pa pada ma pa ni da ma ga ma ni தக்கதிமித்த இசையோடு
சமகமப்பா விளையாடு
தக்கதிமித்த கையில் இசையிடுமே இசையின் உள்ளே கலந்தால் இதயம் முருகிடுமே இசையின் உள்ளே இதயம் முருகிடுமே.
Yep. So that was the entire track. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So so you guys can still hear me, right?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So I just have to do a quick shout out. So yeah, so the female vocals is by Sahana. She's here. The Doofenshmirtz icon is her. Then the male vocals is by Surya. All of you will know him if like he's the Don of SMC. Then
போதும் போதும் இது தேவையா இப்போ நல்லாதான் போயிட்டு இருக்கு.
okay. So violin is by Vishak. He's a fourth year. So I played the piano for this song, and the electric guitar by Shashank. He's third year CSE, and bass by Korean, like bass and Korean synonymous only. Then we have drums. Drums is by Nikhil. So he was here a small while back. Yeah. So so these are the tracks, right? So I'll just go over here, and what I have here is this entire song exactly as it was before. Only thing is I haven't mixed the song. Okay, so like there is nothing in here. So I'm just going to play a small section of it. Okay, and you guys just tell me what difference you feel. Okay.
காலையில் பொழுதில் பசுமை நிறைந்திடும் மார்கழி பனியும் நீ
இதழ்கள் மலர தூண்டிடும் கோடையின் இதமும் நீயே.
காலையில் பொழுதில் பசுமை நிறைந்திடும் மார்கழி பனியும் நீ ராகவாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஆடிட மாமணி சரி மாமணி சார ராகவாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஆடிட சரி சரி மணி மணி
Okay. I'm sorry, Surya. I had to like mute your vocals because they were not in like line.
Yeah, it was very bad. அதுதான் டிஃபரன்ஸ் மிக்ஸ்
No, not really, not really.
நோ வெயிட் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து நீ வந்து ஓகே ஐம் கோனா ஷேர் த மிக்ஸ் பண்ணாத வெர்ஷன் பண்ணி ஐ வாஸ் ஸ்வெட்டிங் ஐயோ எனக்கு தெரியும் இவ்வளோ
No, no, we're not like it was out of sync. Like this should be. Yeah, it should come over there.
ஓகே ஃபைன் கோ ஆன்
தக்கதிமித்த இசையோடு
சமகமப்பா விளையாடு
Okay. Very quickly, I'm just going to play this section from the mixed song. Here over bar 19. Yeah.
தகதிமித்தா இசையோடு
சமகமப்பா விளையாடு
தகதிமித்தா என் கையில் இசையோடு.
Okay, so you get the point. So like, what difference did you feel between the mixed track and the raw track? Okay.
Yes, I will go. Mixed
Yeah.
track, my voice is good.
Okay.
Normal track, my voice is very bad. Yeah.
Nice. His voice is amazing in both the tracks.
No.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else? What difference did you face between the mixed and the unmixed track?
I'll go.
Vocals. Okay, sorry, you go,
The,
you go.
Okay.
yeah, okay. The mixed
Shweta,
vocals,
yeah,
yeah, the
yes, yes.
mixed vocals, the vocals had more clarity. Like it was like it like came through as compared to the previous one.
Yeah, cool. So the vocals were very clear. You could hear the vocals clearly. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you. Sugneshwar or Siu Ganeshwar. Yeah, go ahead.
அதேதான்
Vocals were clearer.
clearer.
Okay. What about other instruments? Did you feel like the other instruments had more clarity or like uh okay, so let's do one thing. I'm just going to mute the vocals from here. Okay? This is the mixed this is the unmixed track. I have just muted the vocals here. And over here also really quickly I'll just mute the vocals. Yeah, so the same section we'll just listen to quickly. So bar 19.
தகதிமித்தா இசை.
Okay, so you guys had a good listen to that. And now I'll just switch to the mixed track. Okay, mixed track, I'll just play the same portion. Okay, so yeah, observations.
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah.
I think I was able to hear Korean's verse much clearer.
Okay, Korean's bass was heard much clearer. Okay, in the mixed version.
And then
Okay, nice.
I was able to hear the drums also very clearly.
Okay, drums very clearly. What about the other instruments? Piano. There is a piano and there was a guitar, electric guitar. Any comments about them?
I felt in the first track, the piano kind of dominated.
Okay, cool. Piano dominated. Okay, nice.
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Arya, Pavitra, Sushant, any observations? Sahana also. Oh, just, yeah, you were there the previous session too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same observations earlier, boss.
Okay, same observations as earlier.
Mixed version
Yeah.
when you pause the audio, the release the sustenance
Okay,
goes.
reverb was there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Fine. So between the mixed and the unmixed version, one thing you can most definitely say is there is some volume balance between the instruments. Like Sugneshwar pointed out, in the unmixed version, the piano was dominating. Okay, that's one. Second is the clarity. So I think Shweta pointed out that vocals were more clearer in the mixed version when compared to the unmixed one. So how do you go from an a raw track, right? Raw track to a mixed version. By no means I'll say like the mixed version sounds professional. So, but in some sense, like it's clearly better than the unmixed version, right? So how do you go from that to this? Okay, so for us to do that, there are certain tools we have at our disposal. Okay, they are called the plugins. I briefly mentioned about them in our previous session too. So we have a broad category of plugins. First, we have plugins like EQ or an equalizer, a compressor we have. Then we have reverbs and delays, and there are many other plugins. There's a saturator. There is like tons more. Okay, so but for a mix, the first thing we need is an EQ and a compressor. Okay, very basic. EQ and compressor must know what they are to mix a track. Okay, and immediately once you get all your files, right? So I'm assuming you have a song that you want to mix, and you have all the files for the song right here, like this. What is the first thing you have to do? So the first thing you have to do is the volume and gain staging. So what does achieving a balance mean? Before you put any plugin onto the track, you have to kind of relatively adjust the volumes of each track. Okay, so as Sugneshwar said, when this track plays, the piano is dominating, right? So instead of going through plugins, putting a compressor or like a volume suppressor and bringing the entire volume down, I can do it very simply. Like I can just pull down the volume, right? Very simple. So when you get the track, it's totally very chaotic, right? So like all instruments are going, all the vocals are going. So how do you achieve this balance, right? So what I like to do is I like to select like a group of instruments, so which I'll be setting as the base, as in the foundation of the mix, and all the layers which we are going to mix later will be adjusted in volume relative to the base layer, right? So this is applicable even when you have 3 tracks, when you have hundreds of tracks. So before that, as I mentioned in the previous session, uh, organizing your session is very important, like organizing what you're seeing, right? So I like to color code. So my drums have to be red, or else I'll go mad. uh yeah, drums must be red, vocals must be green. I mean, like, this is for me. Bass must be violet. I don't know, purple. uh, I, I don't know colors. uh okay, yeah. Guitar and piano, dark blue, and violin has to be yellow. Okay, so yeah. And then when doing a mix, you have this extremely powerful tool called a bus. Okay, so I'm just going to open up this mixer. I hope you guys can see the mixer, right? Yeah, just can anyone unmute and say yes or no? Okay, good, thank you. um, right, so I'll just um do a quick playthrough, and you can see the volumes popping up here. Okay, it's clearly very loud. uh, okay, I'm going to pull down the volume of the total master. Okay, so if you're not able to hear the stream properly, you can right click on the stream, and you can increase the volume. I think Discord allows you to do that. I don't. Okay.
I guess.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, stream volume is there. You can like right click and you can increase the volume. I am reducing because I'm not able to hear you guys. Okay, so right. um this very powerful tool that I was talking about earlier is called a bus. Okay, uh you see these volumes pop up over here, right? So what it is doing is this this volume is the volume of this track. What is the output of the Surya vocals track? Then whatever this meter shows here is what is coming in the Korean bass. Okay, every DAW you use will have this feature, right? And what you see here, this main, what that does is the audio from this channel, whatever you're hearing, is going to be transferred to the main. Okay, so what you hear in the main, the volume meter, is essentially a summation of all the volumes that you hear here. Right. So uh, we have this. This volume over here is a sum of all of these for every second that is happening. Okay, instead of sending it to main, I can send it to some other place. Okay, so I'm just going to create a bus really quickly. Different DAWs have different ways of doing it. So there will be a bus available. Okay, so I'm going to rename this to be the drum bus. What we are doing here, okay, I'm going to play a very like the intro or like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and I want you guys to tell me like what have I done here. Okay. Okay. Any guesses? What have I done here? Come on, guys.
Can you play it again?
Huh?
Can you play it again?
Okay. I haven't done anything to the volume. Okay, that I'll tell you. Okay. You understand what is written over here? Okay. Any guesses? Like the clue is check what is written over here. This main, and suddenly all of these are drum bus, and this is main. This is the main. Okay, this is the main channel. This is the main master. Whatever you can name it, master. Okay. Any guesses?
Can you play it one last time?
Okay, sure. So let's do that. Nothing. I haven't changed anything. Okay. I haven't done any change to the track. All I've done is
Come at the main.
The drums are just not audible enough.
drums are not on. Okay. That is cool. But what I have done here is I told about the volume from here is going into this master, right? The whatever is mentioned here, the volume from the master is going to the master channel. This master channel going here. Okay. Similarly, these four, they are saying drum bus, and this is the drum bus. So the volume from here is going to the drum bus, and the volume from the drum bus is going to the master. Okay, that's understandable, right? I am guessing it's understandable.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so what this allows us to do, okay, just a quick, very simple one. So I want to increase the volume of the drums. Without the bus, how I'll do? I'll select the drums and I'll increase their volume one by one, right? But with the bus, as I said, all the volume from these four channels is going into the drum bus. Okay. Okay, so you guys can understand what is happening here, right? So these channels, they are producing their normal volume, and all of these channels are sending all of their volume to this drum bus. And I have muted the drum bus, and the volume of the drum bus is going to the master. Okay, that is what is written over here. So what we are essentially doing is we have created a group of some sort. Okay, this is very powerful because I can not only control the volume of the entire group with just one fader. If I want to add some effects to it, okay, like I want to add an EQ or a compressor, we'll get into what each of them are specifically. If I want to add an EQ or compressor, I need not add an EQ to each and every channel. Okay, I can just go here. I can say I want an EQ, and what this EQ will do is it is going to affect all the channels, all the drum bus channels. Okay, all of these four channels. So I'm just going to give you a simple. So I'm going to switch this off. Okay. So just to prove that it is really affecting all the four channels, I'm going to copy this effect and I'm going to like put it on all the four channels. Okay. Right. And okay, I'm having this switched off. You guys can hear how the drums sound now. Okay. I'm switching it on. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is once I have switched it off, I'm going to switch on the same EQ in all the four channels now. Okay, it is switched off now. If I play it, you're going to hear the drum as it was initially. Right. So I'm going to switch on all the four. Now I'm going to play it. Sounds exactly like it was before, right? So I switch it off. Switch this one on. Sounds exactly the same. Okay. So what we are doing is all the audio from here, after it goes here, we are putting this EQ. And if we don't do it this route, what we'll have to do is each and every channel we'll be putting the EQ, and it's essentially the same thing. So what we can do using four plugins, we have finished it in just one plugin. This concept is really, really, really powerful because when you have many tracks, you'll have to add many plugins. Okay, so I'll just this is the my mixed version, and this is what all the plugins I have added over here. So you guys can see it's so many plugins, right? So each and every plugin does something about the sound of the instrument. And when you have these many plugins, your processor will start to get overloaded. So instead of adding four plugins, if you can finish the job with just one plugin, you're going to save a lot on the processing power. So that is the power of buses. So where can you add bus? Okay. So I'm just going to really quickly remove all of these. Remove this too. Okay. I like to add buses whenever I have to group things. That is the general idea of a bus. So drums, all of the drums, I have a bus, and then what I like to do is vocals. I add a bus, and just like to call it vocal bus. Okay, and rest all are kind of independent, right? And then I like to add a bus for all the instruments. So the vocal bus has all the vocals and bass, keys, guitar, violin, and the drums. Okay, my bad, and the drums. And I'm going to add a bus for that, and I'm going to call it instrument bus. Okay. So if you guys noticed, I I just added only the drum bus. I didn't add these individual tracks. That is because already these individual tracks are going to the drum bus. It is enough if I route the drum bus to the instrument bus. I need not route the individual tracks. That is also one of the biggest advantages, right? So let's say you are hearing this song, and as you're mixing, many times you might want to listen to only the vocals, right? So you're gonna play it.
தகதிமித்த
I'm just going to
இசையோடு
click solo on the vocal bus.
Samagamapa.
So that is automatically going to reduce my job instead of doing HSJ walk solo, Surya solo. Instead of doing that, I can do that in just one click. Sometimes I want to listen to only the instruments. So you guys are getting the idea, right? So this is one concept I wanted to talk about today. The idea of buses. So this concept is like very, very, very. How do I say it? You can get really creative with it, like how you route your trucks. This is called track routing. So you might have seen pictures of studios, right? And they have this huge thing with so many faders, so many knobs. It's called a mixing console. Okay, in the mixing console, uh, in the olden days, you like we have an aux cable today. We'll have to route, like you put one pin on the output of one channel, and you take that pin to the input of some other channel. So that is how you transfer audio from one channel to the other. And with like digital audio workstations like Studio One and other DAWs coming up, it's really easy. Like you can just do it with a click of a button. Okay. I hope that's cool. If you guys have any questions regarding what bus is, anything, you guys can like unmute and ask now. I'll just clear it off. Any questions? Okay, any questions, guys? If you don't have questions, say no.
No, no questions.
No question.
Okay, thank you, just thank you, Pavitra. Okay, so then I think we can go to the next topic, right? So the next topic is EQ. Okay, what is an EQ? The EQ full form is an equalizer, right? So EQ and compressor, these are the most biggest tools that you can have. So an EQ can literally change one sound into some other sound. Okay, so let's just maybe probably we'll go with Sahana's vocals. Okay, so you can hear what her vocals sound like now.
Samagamapa. விளையாடு தகதிமித்த இயற்கையில் இசையருவியில் இணைந்திடுமே இசையனுள்ளே கலந்தால் இதயம் உருகிடுமே.
Okay, right? You can hear what her vocals sound like. And Okay, so one other challenge, like for myself, I wanted to try is I'm going to mix this track using only. Shh, you can cut that out later. Okay. Uh, Damn. Okay, so I'm just going to pull up an EQ. Right. So,
சமகம்மப்பா விளையாடு தகதிமித்த இயற்கையில் இசையருவியில் இணைந்திடுமே இசையென்னுள்ளே.
okay, so you guys can hear the difference, right? So, what is happening? So, what I'm doing right now is you have um yeah, so you can hear what her vocals sound like.
சமகம்மப்பா விளையாடு தகதிமித்த.
Okay, so each frequency corresponds to, like, you can say notes on the keyboard, piano. I don't know. So all of these, so lower the band, lower the pitch, okay, and higher the band, higher the pitch. So when uh, you hear, like, suddenly you are in a program and the mic starts doing the key thing, okay, so that is very high frequency, okay, and what you hear, the rumble, when you stand next to a speaker and, like, you feel the bass, right? That those are all the low frequencies. So what an EQ allows you to do is you can control which frequencies you want to reduce in volume or you want to increase in volume. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I am going to cut off all of Sahana's low frequencies. Okay, just to demonstrate again how that sounds.
சமகம்மப்பா விளையாடு தகதிமித்த இயற்கையில் இசையருவியில்
Okay,
இணைந்திடுமே
you guys can understand, right, what we are doing here?
இசையென்னுள்ளே.
Yeah, a yes or a no.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you guys. Thank you guys. Wait, was that Sushant who spoke? I don't think so. Good. Okay. Um. Right. So when we are mixing a vocal, the things we need to keep in mind. Okay. Uh, Whatever we don't hear, there's like a general rule. You mix a track based on what you hear. Okay, and in this session I'm going to like go very extreme with the effects, okay, so that you guys can hear what we are doing. So usually all the changes are very very subtle, and all of these subtle changes, they slowly add up and make up the final track. Okay, so real quick, whatever you can't hear, you can simply cut off. Okay, so let's try. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play Sahana's vocal and I'm going to cut off all of her low frequencies, and I'll stop cutting when I can hear a difference. Okay, which means I have cut off all that I can't hear, and I'm encroaching into the region where I can hear her voice. Okay, so let's do that, right?
சமகம்மப்பா விளையாடு தகதிமித்த இயற்கையில் இசையருவியில் இணைந்திடுமே இசையென்னுள்ளே கலந்தா
Yeah,
இதயம்
yeah, there.
உருகிடுமே.
Okay, so I have started hearing a difference from this point. It says frequency is 306 hertz, right? From 306 hertz, if I cut any more, I'm going to encroach into her vocal tone. Any more I do, I'm going to mess her tone up. Okay? So an EQ has many settings. Okay, so what are these settings? We'll just go over them. So when you cut off the low frequencies, that band is called a low cut or an LC. The high ones, really high ones, three guesses, high cut. Okay, that's called a high cut. And anything in between. So we have a few regions. Okay, the entire spectrum of audio, you can divide it into a few sections. Okay, the first is called the lows. Lows means the extreme lows. And then we have the low mid frequencies, which are low and also a bit towards the mid frequencies. Then we have the mid frequencies. Then we have the high mid frequencies. And finally, we have the high frequencies. Okay. This is sort of like what an audio spectrum is like. So when you hear all this muddiness, when you say clarity, very colloquially, when you say there is not enough clarity, it can mean one of two things. One is there are a lot of low frequencies and a lot of mid frequencies, and the second one is there are not enough high frequencies. Okay, simple. So let's say Sahana's vocals, like they are very clear. This is because like her vocals I had processed it previously, and this is the process vocal I have imported pretty much. Okay, then let's go with Surya's vocals. Here you can really feel the difference. Um, yeah, so I have pulled up the EQ, and I'm going to switch off the low cut. I'll just pull it back. Okay, so we can see uh, his uh, vocal spectrum. Okay, and a really cool thing I can show for you guys. I'll just pin this, and yeah, I'll do that. And I'll open up Sahana's too. Okay, so a really cool thing I wanted to show you guys is what does the frequency range of a male and a female look like. Okay, uh, so on the uh, okay, I'll do that. I hope both the spectrums are like you can see both of them. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to play both of their vocals, and I want you guys to notice what their spectrums look like. Okay.
காலையில் பொழுதில் பசுமை நிறைந்திடும் மார்கழி பனியும் நீயே
தாமரை இதழ்கள் மலர தூண்டிடும் கோடையின் இதமும் நீயே
காலையில் பொழுதில் பசுமை நிறைந்திடும் மார்கழி பனியும் நீயே
தாமரை இதழ்கள் மலர தூண்டிடும் கோடையின் இதமும் நீயே
ராகபாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஆடிட கமபனி சரி கமபனி சா.
Okay, observations. Yeah, anyone? You want to go? Like, what did you observe between the spectrums of Sahana and Surya? Anyone wants to try?
Please play it again.
Okay, cool. Just take a look at the spectrum. Okay, this screen which shows up.
காலையில் பொழுதில் பசுமை நிறைந்திடும் மார்கழி பனியும் நீயே
தாமரை இதழ்கள் மலர தூண்டிடும் கோடையின் இதமும் நீயே
காலையில் பொழுதில் பசுமை நிறைந்திடும் மார்கழி பனியும் நீயே
தாமரை இதழ்கள் மலர தூண்டிடும் கோடையின் இதமும் நீயே
ராகபாவங்கள்
ராகபாவங்கள்
சேர்ந்து
சேர்ந்து
Yeah. Okay. Arya?
I'm going to take an obvious guess and say the frequencies of Suryas were much lower than Saharas. So the peaks in the lower frequencies were, I mean,
Yep.
there were more peaks in the lower frequencies for Suryas and less for Saharas.
Okay, okay. Very nice, very nice. Okay, so what does that mean? The body of Surya's vocals lie on a lower frequency range. The body of Sahana's vocal lies at a higher frequency range when compared to Surya's. Okay, so how do you go about mixing the two vocals so that they don't interfere with each other? Okay, so one thing you can do is, since Sahana's vocals are at a much higher range when compared to Surya's, you can cut off all her low frequencies which are not necessary. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and do that.
காலையில் புதிர்
இதழ்கள் மலர தூண்டிடும் கோடையின் இதமும் நீயே
Okay, and Surya's too. Okay, a really cool thing I want to show you guys. For that I'll just pull up this EQ. Okay, so what this allows me to do is, like, I can sweep the area of Surya's vocals. Okay, now I have it at the absolute low, and let me just, like, loop this section of his vocals. Okay,
ராகபாவங்கள்
okay, wait, I'll mute Sahana's.
ராகபாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஆடிட தனி தனி பனி பனி பம இசையினுள் தாமரை இதழ்கள் மலர தூண்டிடும் கோடையின் இதமும் நீயே ராகபாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஆடிட கம பனி சனி பம கம பனி ராகபாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஆடிட தனி தனி பனி பனி பம இசையினுள் தாமரை
Okay, so basically what I wanted you guys to observe is the lower regions of Surya's vocals, they are very, very muddy, right? You can't, there is no clarity. If I just do this, you can't hear what he is saying, but there is enough volume coming out. The same thing if I place it over the mid region, you guys can easily hear what he's saying, what he's pronouncing, right? So all the region over here in the low region is pretty much useless. It is not adding clarity, in fact it is taking away clarity. Okay, so once I know that, I'm just going to cut away. Okay,
ராகபாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஆடிட கமபனி சனி பம கமபனி ராகபாவங்கள்
I'm doing a pretty extreme cut for Surya because, like, that is when the what I'm doing will be heard properly. Okay, so usually it's not done like this. Usually it's very subtle, but still.
சேர்ந்து ஆடிட சனி சனி பனி பனி பம இசையினுள் தாமரை இதழ்கள் மலர தூண்டிடும் கோடையின்
Okay, so initially when I asked what's the difference between the mixed and the unmixed one, somebody pointed out that the vocals were not clear. Okay, so now all I have done is I have taken away some part of Surya's vocals which make it very muddy. Okay, so now I'm just going to switch on and off the EQ which I did. Okay, this EQ, this thing we have cut off. Okay, and, like, just observe the difference.
தாமரை இதழ்கள் மலர
Now
தூண்டிடும்
the EQ is on.
இதமும் நீயே ராகபாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து
Okay, now I'm going to switch it off.
தாமரை இதழ்கள் மலர தூண்டிடும் கோடையின் இதமும் நீயே ராகபாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஆடிட கமபனி சனி பம கமபனி ராகபாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஆடிட சனி சனி பனி பனி பம இசையினுள்
Okay. I don't know if you guys could hear the difference. Like, could you hear the difference if there was any? Mm,
It's, can you play it again?
Seemed quite similar only.
same, quite similar. Okay. Okay then. Okay, yeah, it should be quite similar. Okay, so I told you guys, right? So one of two things you can do to add clarity. You can cut off the useless thing, and you can boost the highs. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to like boost the highs. Okay. Okay, we'll try to hear the difference.
தாமரை இதழ்கள் மலர தூண்டிடும் கோடையின் இதமும் நீயே.
It was switched off. Now I'm switching it on.
தாமரை இதழ்கள் மலர தூண்டிடும் கோடையின் இதமும் நீயே. ராகபாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஆடிட கமபனி சனி பம கமபனி ராகபாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஆடிட சனி சனி பனி பனி பம இசையென்னுள் தாமரை.
Okay. Any difference? Could you hear it?
Yeah, it sounds more smooth. Like it's not as sharp when you switch it on. I don't. That's how I visualize it.
Guys.
The vocals sound a
Okay,
little
we'll
more
ask
sharp.
the owner of the voice. Surya, இருக்கீங்களா? Damn.
Pradeep, I think you can't hear us. Can you hear
Okay, I guess
us?
he's not here. Oh, okay.
He can't hear us.
Yeah.
He's
Arya,
not able to hear
you
us,
have
right?
unmuted
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
So
Okay, wait. How do we tell him?
okay,
Right here.
I think I can't hear you guys. Okay, so
Yes,
I'm just
yes.
going to
Okay.
like really quickly disconnect and join again. Yeah, okay. Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Can you
Oh,
hear us?
yeah, I can hear you guys too. Yeah, so sometimes this happens, so like I'll be disconnecting and joining again. Sorry about that. Yeah, so Arya, could you hear the difference?
Yeah. So what I said was, it sounds more sharper when you don't switch it on. Like it's that's how I visualize it. Like it's smoother when you switch it on. The
Okay.
vocals very very slightly, but it's not that big
Yes.
of a difference.
So that is all the small difference we'll be adding on. And I would say even this is like pretty extreme. Okay. So yeah, so we'll be this boost you see here. All I've done is I've boosted the very high frequencies, which gives clarity. So some very yeah, the colloquial terms I started talking about them, right? So the first thing is muddiness. Muddiness is because of the mid range or the low range. And when you say something is like hurting your ears, right? I don't know what to say it in Tamil, but in Hindi, like you can kaano mein chubre hain. That's what they say. Like so it's like very piercing sound. Okay, so
Pradeep, can you hear me?
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, தமிழ்ல எரையுதுன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க.
எரைதா? Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, Ashwin bro. Okay, so எரையறது, right? So that is high frequencies. And yeah, so muddiness, high frequency, warmth, that is the next one, right? What do you mean when you say something the tone is warm, right? That is somewhere between like the 500 to the 600 hertz region, right? 500 to 1k. So like all of this, you just have to feel it. Okay, so there is no set thing like if you hear if you get vocals, then for vocals this is how the EQ should be, right? No, totally not. Okay, then uh, what you have to identify is where is the body of the vocal, which part of the vocal is really important, which is what I need, right? So then if we talk about bass, okay, so bass predominantly is in the lower frequency region, right? So what do we do? Okay, I'm just going to solve. Uh, over here, Korean is using like his this technique is called slap. Okay, you slap the bass. So there are a lot of high frequencies. Like if you can hear, yeah, from here it goes down. So if you can notice, the predominantly Korean's vocals, Korean's bass is this region over here, and the clicky region you hear is over here. Okay, that is the clicky thing. When he strums his guitar, the click that it produces, that's somewhere over here. As a person who mixes the song, it is your duty to like
Pradeep?
analyze what the song needs. Like, does it need the click
Pradeep,
of okay,
can you hear me?
hey, what happened? I can't. Okay, shit. I'll come back. Yeah, yeah, I'll join again. Hey, can you guys hear me now? Or like,
Yeah, can you hear
Yeah,
us?
I can hear you.
yeah, cool, 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 cool. Actually, till where did you guys hear me? Where could you guys hear me?
We could actually hear you, but you couldn't hear us.
Okay, okay. So what did someone say?
You were adjusting the EQ for Korean
Arya
speakers.
was saying something.
Arya, what are you saying?
I was? No, 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 no. No, no, I think Korean screen couldn't be seen, so like, yeah, that's all. You
Okay, okay,
continue
cool.
about EQ. Yeah.
Okay, about EQ. So like, okay, yeah. So the oh god, I lost my train of thought. Okay, fine. Right.
You can
So
start from like Korean, the
go.
slap technique. From there, you can start.
Okay, thank you. Korean slap technique. Cool. Right. So in in this place where he like slaps the guitar, you can see there is like a large amount of high frequencies. Okay, and when he starts playing normally, okay, so there is not much high frequencies, right? So with this EQ curve, okay, with this you can understand that the majority of Korean's volume, the bass volume, comes from this region. So anything less than this, I won't need. Okay, so like I'll just play it. There's pretty much no difference, right? So this is what I'll do. And these high frequencies, they're pretty much useless for this track, right? Cut them off. So why are we doing it, right? So even when you can't hear something, why are you like uh hey, you guys can still hear me, right? I think a lot of people are coming and going.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not sure. Okay. Okay, good. So why did we do that? Um, so if you see here, without the EQ, uh, there is still a lot of volume that is coming through over here. So remember what I said about the volume from one channel is going to the instrument channel, and that instrument channel is going to the master, right? You remember?
Yeah.
So okay. So what is happening is, if we in case we don't cut off these frequencies which we don't hear, but the analyzer is picking up on them. Okay, the graph or the sound that you saw over here is just an analyzer. So it is still picking up some volume, but we can't hear it. So what does that mean? It is not going to contribute to our mix. It is useless sound, but it is still producing some sound. Okay, so you think about this. If all of those tracks produce some unwanted sound, all of that unwanted sound will finally add up and it will come in our final output. Okay, that's like totally bad. And one more very bad thing it does is there's something called um uh, uh I forgot the term. Okay, yeah. So basically what the concept is, if you cross 0 dB over here and you go over it, clipping, yes, thank you. uh, it's something called clipping. Okay, so I'm just pulling the volume. I think for one individual track I'll do that. Okay, so maybe for the drums. Okay, uh, why can't we hear the drums? Okay, okay, right. My bad, sorry, master is reduced. Okay, so I'll just solo the drum bass, and so you guys can see the 0 mark right over here. So this 0 mark is called the reference level. This is 0 dB, and anything which crosses 0 dB will start clipping. So what do we mean by clipping is, in your final output you'll hear a lot of clicks. It'll start like clicking out. So right, you can see I have increased the volume of the kick, and over here it shows 93 and now 108. what does this 108 mean? This 108 means that I've gone 108 decibels over zero, right? So when I output the track, it's going to be very bad. So like it'll be clipping totally. Okay, that's the idea. So when all of this unwanted sound keeps adding up, you will lose on the actual volume of the track you can increase, and you will be messing around with just how to like you will reduce this volume to avoid clipping. But essentially the clipping is being caused by all the unwanted sound that you have. So EQs are really really important, okay, to clean up your unwanted sound. That is the uh, word, okay, to clean up. And similarly I'll be adding EQs to each and every uh, track, okay. So that is what an EQ is for. Okay, I'm going back and forth over here, so bear with me. Remember how I initially said how to balance a track, right? So how to get the volume right. So first I'm going to set my piano as a reference. Why? So piano is an instrument you can hear throughout the track, and it serves as a foundation for the track because like it's the main source of a tonality chords for the vocals, right? And bass can also be used as a reference, but it's really hard to hear what the bass is doing. Bass is more of what you feel. That's what bass is for. Okay, so I'm going to solo my uh, vocals. So my vocals, my bad, my piano track, and I'm just going to adjust it to a volume which is comfortable for me to hear. Okay. I'm now satisfied with this volume. So what I've essentially done is this is my starting point of my track. So I have set it really low. So what is the purpose of setting low is in case you want to increase the volume of other tracks later. When you increase them, you don't want to hit the clipping, right? You don't want that red thing popping up. So that is what we are doing. We are setting this really low. And the second thing I want to get into the mix is the guitar. Okay, so I'm going to solo the guitar now. First, I had only the keys, and now I'm going to bring in the guitar. Okay, I'm going to set the guitar to a volume where I can hear both the keys and the guitar. Okay, so I am satisfied with this, and then let's move to the drums. Okay, drums is really interesting because drums within itself has four tracks, right? So the first thing you have to do is establish balance within the four tracks. You might not have the drums like this, like a four track. You may have it as a single track. Then in that case, you can't do anything about it. So let's just adjust the balance of the instruments of the drums. Okay, so one thing I'm hearing is the kicks. Okay, the kick could be a bit louder. Okay, that's one thing I've observed. And the second thing is, I feel the highs can be a bit louder because that is what will give the sizzle to the track, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So one interesting thing you can do here is, I said I want to increase the kick and the highs. Okay. Yeah, right. One other thing, if you want to seriously mix a track, you have to know what instruments are there and what frequencies they are available in. So nickel uh, over here has renamed this as OH1 and OH2. So these stand for overhead 1 and overhead 2. So if you see a drum kit has a few components, right? So the first one is a kick, which you can see here. Then you have a snare, okay. Then there are toms. There are two toms, okay. There is a floor tom, and there are I don't know exactly what they're called. Fine, floor toms and toms, okay. And then we have cymbals. Cymbal is the uh like the plate kind of thing, you can see. And hi hat is it's like two plates, and it'll be one on top of the other, right? So that is what the components of a drum are. And when you want to mic a drum, uh like obviously if you have the resources, you can mic in each individual instrument. So if you don't have enough mics, so for the cymbals, you have two mics which go over the drum kit and they point inwards to the drum kit, okay. So that is why they are called overhead mics. So mainly the overhead mics are going to give me the content I need for my highs. Okay, so really quickly, I'm just going to show you guys what I mean by that. Yeah, so you guys can see that, right? Like most of the cymbals and hi-hats are over here. Okay. Uh yeah, with that out of the way. Okay, so two things. When you say I want to increase the kick and I want to increase the highs, you can select these three and you can pull them up, or you can pull down the snare. Okay. Anytime you want to increase the volume of something, this is like a good practice, okay. Anytime you want to increase the volume of something, reduce the volume of the other instruments. Let's say I want to increase the volume of the vocals, I can reduce the volume of the instruments. So why we are doing this, again, the clipping comes in here. So when I have a lot of instruments and I increase one, and then later I feel I need to increase the other one, and slowly I'll increase all the instruments, and finally I won't have enough room available. Like after let's say like zero is the top I can go. Usually when you mix, it's best if you stop around like -9. Okay, so -9 on the scale is like a good place to stop when you mix. So that when you master, you can get that additional volume to zero. Okay, that's called a headroom. So I'm just going to pull down a little bit of the snare. Okay. Okay. In this case, it's not working because a lot of the snare is also captured in the overheads. So like, yeah, you guys can hear that, right? Like a lot of the snare is also here. So I can't like reduce the snare to increase the hi hats because a lot of the snare is over here. So I am forced to increase in this case. Okay, so I'll just. And one simple thing you can do is, when there are two overhead mics, you can pan one hard left and one hard right. Okay. So uh, you'll be able to hear a massive difference now. And before, and after. Okay, so what we have done here is we have made it wide. Okay, so when you hear to like professional songs, this the surround sound, Dolby Atmos, all that you hear, they kind of play with similar things. But what is important is you need to have some stereo content. Okay, so otherwise there is no point to you having two uh, uh, outputs. Okay, so headphone has two outputs, earphones have two. So there's no point in if you don't use it, right? Uh, if everything is right mono, that's something. So if everything is mono, it is simply saying like you have a single speaker in front of you and you're listening to it. Okay, uh, it's not uh, good for everything to be in mono. Okay, so I have increased a bit of the highs, and yeah, let's take a listen now. Just the drums. Yeah, now I like how it sounds. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix this with the guitar and the keys. Immediately I can see that the drums is the volume of the drums is very high. Okay, so I'll be bringing that down. Okay, I'm happy with the balance for now. Then we move on to the vocals. Okay, so Surya's vocals over here are very interesting. Okay, they show that they are very loud, but when you actually hear them, they are not really loud. So yep, we don't need to solo the other things. Yeah. So if you notice, like Surya's vocals, even though they show they are loud, and uh, Sahana's vocals, even though they're thin, Sahana's vocals actually sound louder than Surya's. Okay, so can you feel that? Like, uh, any
Yeah.
any idea as to? Okay, I don't think I can hear you. Uh,
Can you hear us?
nope, I can't hear you.
Okay.
Give me a second. Sorry. All right. I think Pavitra and Ari.
Welcome back for the fourth time.
Thank you. Yeah. So, any guesses as to why that is the case? Yeah. Okay. Arya, I think you're about to say something. Were you?
I think you asked us if we can understand it, if we can see the difference, and I said yeah for it.
Okay, cool. So
But I don't know
you
why it
you don't
happens.
know.
I'm not sure.
Okay, okay, cool. Uh okay.
Oh, is it because of the EQ value?
No, no, no. So all of
Oh,
this
okay.
is like the raw things, okay? What you see here is how it looks without any audio processing. This is how it is raw vocals. Okay. Yeah, come on. Ojas, Pavitra, Surya, Ashwin, bro.
I can see the difference, but I don't understand why.
Okay, you don't understand. Amazing, amazing. Thank you, Pavitra.
So can you like go to your notes? I think we can see
Can
your Discord.
can I go where?
To studio.
Okay.
I think yeah. Okay.
What happened?
So we could see your Discord. Like your screen is your Discord.
Yeah, I have to see you guys. No.
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry, sorry.
I have to see who's talking. No, what is this? Okay, Sahana, you wanna try?
No idea actually.
No idea. Wonderful. Korean. Okay, Korean. Can you like actually unmute and talk?
We can't unmute.
He can't unmute. Okay. 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 So why Korean can't unmute is because like he's only streaming and he's recording the entire session. So yep. Right. So why? So the reason is Surya's vocals contain a lot of these unwanted frequencies. Okay. So these unwanted frequencies they are contributing to the overall volume of Surya's vocals, but we can't really hear the unwanted frequencies. Okay, we can't hear it. It is loud, but Sahana's vocals they are. I mean, like visually they are thinner, but they are louder. That is because the the content which we can hear. Okay, so like the vocals we can hear actually hear the content of those frequencies in Sahana's vocals are high, and this noise around it is low. For Surya, it is like almost on the same level. Okay, so that is why we can see that Surya's vocals volume is actually high, but the actual output is not really. Okay, so I can like just quickly over here. You guys can see these meters, right? So I'll just play Surya's vocals. You guys see like where it is hitting. So it came somewhere around -6, but like it doesn't feel like a -6. Okay, so yeah. So if I cut off all the unwanted frequencies from Surya's vocals, I can only then increase the volume of Surya's vocals without them clipping my track. Okay, another very important like reason for using an EQ. Right. Let's not do that now. I'm just going to very quickly EQ Surya's vocals. Okay. Uh,
தகதிமித்த இசையோடு தகதிமித்த கைலிசையருவியில் இணைந்திடுமே இசையென்னுள்ளே கலந்தால் இதயம் முருகிடுமே இசையென்னுள்ளே இதயம் முருகிடுமே.
okay. So you have cut off a lot of Surya's vocals, but they still sound the same. Okay. Yeah.
தகதிமித்த கைலிசையருவியில் இணைந்திடுமே இசைய
Can you guys feel the difference in the clarity? Like, I'm just going to play without the EQ first.
தகதிமித்த கைலிசையரு
Now with the EQ.
தகதிமித்த கைலி செயர்வேல் இணைந்திடுமே இசையென்னுள்.
Also, if you notice now, Surya's vocals is hovering around -12, right? Okay, really quickly. Can someone just unmute and talk? I'm not sure if I can hear you
Hi.
guys. Hi. Okay, cool. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Right. So now I can go about increasing Surya's vocals. But will I increase Surya's vocals? No. I'll reduce Sahana's vocals. So, yeah, so that's something you have to keep in mind, okay? When you have the choice between increasing someone's something and decreasing something, always choose decreasing. Even if you have to decrease everything else, okay? Just choose decreasing.
Samagama விளையாடு.
Okay, let's choose a region where like both of them are singing, okay? Both chorus. There we go.
ராகபாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஆடிட கமபனி சனி பம கமபனி ராகபாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஆடிட சனி சனி பனி பனி ராகபாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஆடிட கமபனி சனி பம கமபனி ராகபாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஆடிட சனி சனி பனி பனி ராகபாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஆடிட கமபனி சனி.
Okay, now I'm happy with how the level in vocals between Sahana and Surya's sound. Now I have to mix this entire thing with the other things I have currently leveled, right? So we have the keys, guitar, and we have the drums, right? So we'll go ahead and do that.
ராகபாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஆடிட கமபனி
So right off the bat we can see that the vocals are dominating this, okay?
ராகபாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஆடிட கமபனி சனி பம கமபனி ராகபாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஆடிட சனி சனி பனி பனி ராகபாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஆடிட கமபனி சனி பம கமபனி
Okay.
ராகபாவங்கள் சேர்ந்து ஆடிட
கலந்த
இதயம் உருகிடுமே இசையென்னுள்ளே இதயம் உருகிடுமே.
Okay. Now that is done, we are left with only two instruments. Yeah. One is the legend Korean's bass, and we have Vishak's violin. Yeah, let's just mix in Korean's bass. Ooh, that's too loud. I'm sorry, Korean.
இதயம் உருகிடுமே.
காலையில் பொழுதில் பசுமை நிறைந்திடும் மார்கழி பனியும் நீயே.
தாமரை இதழ்கள் மலர தூண்டிடும் கோடகி.
Okay, lovely, lovely. And then finally we have violin. Okay, so over here, Vishak actually plays a solo, so I'm just going to go for that region. All right, cool. So, any questions so far about the mix? Any questions, guys?
No questions.
Oh, wonderful. I can't hear you. Okay, so I'll just quickly disconnect and come back. Yep. So, is someone keeping track how many times I disconnected and joined? Right. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So, can you guys feel the difference, like between what it was before and what it is now? like before when all the volumes were uh, to mildly say kanapina, and what where they are right now. The track already sounds so much better. Okay, I mean, I shouldn't say that. You guys should say that. Say it. Okay.
Track already sounds so much better. Please pay me afterwards. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else like? Can you feel the difference? Can you see what we have done so far?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Ojas. Okay. Okay. So it's 8:03 now. I'm just going to take a little bit more of your time, and we can wind up soon. Uh, yeah. So I couldn't cover the compressor part of today's session, and I think we'll continue that. Okay, in the next one. So right now, we have what we have done is like huge progress from where we started. Okay. For reference, I think I can. I don't know. You know what? I'll just do it. Give me a second. Uh, Start new song. Okay, lovely. So where is Surya's vocals? Yeah, Surya vocals here. And the tempo 192. Right. So we'll just quickly adjust Surya's vocals, and we'll just like compare, okay, where we started from and where we are right now, and we'll just do a quick comparison with uh like what the actual mix sounds like. So okay, okay, cool. Right. So we'll just very quickly uh, see. I'll I think what I'll do is I'll increase the volume of the other track which we have decreased so far, so that we can not feel the difference in volume per se. Somewhere around here. Yeah. Okay. Good. Right. So that region where we made the comparison earlier, okay, bar number 19. I'm just going to play you uh, how where we started from. Okay, this is where we started from, and we'll compare that with where we are headed.
தகதிமித்தா இசையோடு
சமகமப்பா விளையாடு தகதிமி
Okay, that's where we started from, and this is where we are right now.
தகதிமித்த இசையோடு
சமகமப்பா விளையாடு
தகதிமித்த கையில் சேர் கலந்தார் இதயம் உறையுது.
Okay, and this is where we should be going. Why Surya's vocals are not heard? What is this? Oh, vocals I've muted.
தகதிமித்த இசையோடு
சமகமப்பா விளையாடு
Okay, really quickly. Sorry if I'm taking your time, but like this is what we started with.
தகதிமித்த இசையோடு
Whole mess. This is where we are at right now.
தகதிமித்த இசையோடு
Okay, so yeah, any questions about today's session? So all we did today, to quickly recap, is we set up the session. We set up the session by doing the color coding, and then we understood what buses and sends are, what clipping is, and how to balance your track, what is an EQ. We haven't EQ'd anything yet, but just by balancing, like just by arranging the volume of each instrument relative to the other, we have, this is the power of like balancing. Okay, so before you start a mix, you have to arrange it, like you have to color code it to your liking, create buses, sends, and adjust the volumes. This is called balancing. And then EQs, and then compressors. So that's the flow we'll be going in. Okay, yep. Actually that's it from my side. Anyone, if you have any questions, you can ask.